I was just gonna do an intro to this video, but I had to talk about this because there is no way Manga Plus just allowed this to be on their platform. Typically speaking, on Manga Plus, the best updates for manga is usually Monday, Tuesday, maybe Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Saturday is a hit or miss depending on the update, as well as Monday and Tuesday, but they all have great releases. I mean, Tuesday has Chainsaw Man, Monday has Mad, Sunday has Ichi the Witch, Kagurabachi, One Piece, Sakamoto Days, and Sunday is kind of the king of updates. Yeah, Wednesday is at this weird limbo stage where it isn't sure what it is yet, and honestly, I skip Wednesday whenever it comes around. The only time I don't is when Asura's Verdict gets a new chapter or where Trojan X gets a new chapter, and that's it. Yet, recently, a new series came around called So You Weren't Into Me. I initially thought this was more slop to StatPad Wednesday, and that would probably average maybe 5,000 or less viewers. But somehow, it has 284,000 views at the time of this video! How? Why? Who watches this? It immediately caught my attention. I had to read this. If people liked it, maybe I would like it too. I don't fucking know. Chapter 1 begins with this brief little statement that basically summarizes how this entire series would go. I would say the cover art for this chapter is really nice though, and I really hate to admit that. We get a nice little view of the love interests. Alright, it really begins with our protagonist Kazuaki Okabe, who is in his second year of high school, which means he's, in Japan, he's most likely 16. Keep this in mind for later. His hobbies consist of studying and that's literally it. This guy has got nothing else interesting going on in his life. And of course, he has this great mentality of not giving in to otherworldly desires. Also, no, I am only going through the first chapter. I'm not reading any more of this. Though, during class time, as he is studying alone like a complete loser, he notices that his classmate Kiara Sano, the white-haired girl from the cover, locks eyes with him multiple times. He assumes she's in love with him, but no! He immediately assumes he's getting the wrong idea again. As he's having self-doubt, his next-door classmate calls out that his studying is admirable, but quickly notices he has zero friends yet again. So in his first year, he had literally zero friends, and so he is pretty miserable for sure. The girl in question who asked this was his classmate Hina Nishina. She, for some reason, tells him, "I'll have you offer myself again." He swears this is just how extroverts act. Like, no, they do not. No extrovert would ever say this to somebody they consider a friend. She yaps about how they are sitting next to each other again, and must be fate, and B denies it. Cause are cute. But once again, he is on his BS on getting the wrong idea. Oh yeah, and then that white-haired dumb girl walks up to him and stares him in the eyes and gives him her contact. Hina asks Kazawaki if he knows her, but he doesn't know shit. I mean, he doesn't have friends, remember? Hina first thinks that Kiara wants to be friends with him, but her expression falters as she uses her IQ of 50 to think harder. Kazawaki thinks Kiara's in love with him, but no, he doesn't want to get the wrong idea. Oh, and he thinks she had a good reason for it besides being interested in him. Like, use your brain. What other reason would she have? Unless she sells your organs, then yeah. Kazawaki is walking outside of the school building and he runs into his childhood friend Rui Kuon, who is 1 year younger than him. He notices the love letters she received despite it barely being the first day of the new term. Her weak grip on the letters is tested when a gust of wind takes the letters and dumps them into the nearby fountain. She goes to recover them from the fountain and she says, "They wrote these while thinking of me. I can't let them go to waste." He then tells her that she's still cool as ever, and her logical answer is, "You fought for me all over now." Like, how can you tell she doesn't like you? And no bullshit of, I'll get the wrong idea. How do you not see the signs? Rui compliments Kazawaki on how nice he is, and then she pieces out as her friends call out to her from the school gate. As he watches Rui walk away, he gets jumped by Kiara, who's just standing right behind him. She asks if they could walk home together, and of course he is suspicious, but he is not the only one because Rui is watching them from a distance, watching Kiara and Kazawaki be all rainbows and sunshine together. Kazawaki asks Kiara what she wants from it, and of course she just wanted to walk with him. Nothing suspicious about that. Oh yeah, and then she asks Kazawaki if she could call him Kazu-kun, and he very hesitantly agrees. But she gets super giddy about it, and she asks for his contact info out of nowhere. Okay, this is where the manga really goes completely off board and loses all sanity. So in this entire next part at home, he is spacing out during his studies, and he gets whacked on the head to bring him back to reality. The person in question is his cousin, Satori Inui. She goes to college, and she's his tutor. Kazawaki just says he's out of it because he sure went through a lot that day. Tori considers stopping him to let him rest, but he insists on continuing to study. And then he goes on this dumb rant again about why he won't get the wrong idea. Oh wait, sweet, he's actually going to explain why. Okay, when he was still in middle school, he fell in love with his older sister's friend. She would hug him and do all this dumb shit, and he really thought they shared feelings until she got married in his third year in middle school. Alright, let's let's just assume their age gap, because if he is still in middle school and she's getting married, they are way beyond a 5-year gap. How does this even break his heart? This heartbreak messed with Kazuwaki's studies and he failed to get into his first choice school? Is it ever this serious? Though nobody actually knows about his heartbreak, I assume he just made up an excuse, since Satori mentions that the reason he failed was because he was sick. Sick. He does this dumb thing where he's like, I'm a serious boy on the outside, but really I'm just a sensitive young man. Kazuwaki asks Satori how to overcome otherworldly desires, and she quickly gatekeeps that shit. And while he's pondering over that, Kazuwaki suddenly gets a message, and who else but Kiara, and Satori watches over with a deafening silence. He believes Kiara really does love him, but he quickly switches up because, remember, he can't get the wrong idea, guys! It shifts to the other girls, and what a surprise, they all have feelings for him. The pink-haired girl says her best perk is her chest, which literally every other girl except Kiara has chests just as big as her. She is not special. Rui is, forgettable.
Hey, that's my shoulder.
I think the worst offender is his cousin Satori. First of all, they are cousins! They share blood. Why is she in love with him? Second, if she can drink beer as shown in this panel, she is easily over 20 years old. So not only is this incest, she is also a pedophile. I'm gonna skim to the worst part, which is chapter 4 and 5, where Kazuwaki invites all the girls over to study with him. As Hina walks to his house on the day of studying, she finds it necessary to wear a matching pair of underwear? Why? She exclaims she isn't gonna show it off to him, but it's just in case? It's just so weird. He also invited Kiara and Rui over to study because, of course, all his love interests had to be together. When they get ready to study, Kazuwaki drops his eraser and goes under the desk to grab it, but quickly comes back up flustered. Everybody's confused, but Kiara is the first to understand why. It's because Kazuwaki got flashed by Hina. It gets worse because their tutor is his cousin Satori, which I feel like that's explained by itself. That's very explanatory. In the next chapter, Satori and her class mocks a group of college students for wanting to do karaoke because she believes something naughty was going to happen. Yet, she's getting excited to meet a high school kid. Satori is, of course, disappointed because she expected a solo tutoring, not all these girls in the same room as Kazuwaki. Worst part is, she immediately assumed he had a foursome with the other girls and she wanted in on it. Thing is, initially, she believed he was a good, innocent boy and that her reward for helping them graduate was... So I completely forgot to record this part for the video, and while I was editing, dude, it was completely gone, and now I have to come back and fucking edit this. Yeah. What she necessarily said, she said that she wanted to be the one to help him graduate from being a virgin. That's pretty much it. I hope the series burns, but hey, Wednesday still has a Zurski Trojan X.